Yes, Noel, how are you today?
I am fine, Madam Mary. How are you too?
I'm okay. Yeah. So today we shall look at how to provide feedback on concept mapping. And I'm Mary Omingo from AFELT.
I am Edward Noel from Mzumbe University.
Okay. Noel, I can see you've really improved on your concept mapping. Yeah,
Yes.
so it looks simple and the concepts are clear. This is very nice. Yeah, so maybe just tell me what you've been doing since we last met, because I can see, I can't see resources, and as I've said, the concept map is clearer. So what have you been doing so far?
Actually, the past discussion have made me to improve this one. The concept map I'm presenting today is a result of the discussion that we made the last time. I thought of the concepts that we are discussing that could improve and make it simpler. And I think today it can be well explained in a very short way and well understood in a short way, because some of the concepts were embedding in each other. And today, the other concepts that were found the last presentation, they are also embedded in the other concepts because they were just the parts. So the contribution that you provided in the last time had made me to think of this improvement.
Okay, good. So how did you come up with this, or how are these concept maps, concepts now related?
Thank you. Today we have only 3 concepts in this concept map. Actually, when we talk of the human resource management in education, we are trying to look on the 3 concepts that are job design, staffing, and compensation. But before doing all these issues, as we introduced the past time, they are very much related to the gender issues or the gender consideration in the education sector, as well as the legal issues, because in management or human resource management, the issues of legal issues are very well observed when doing in each process, as well as the gender consideration. Let us have a look on the concepts themselves. The job design, actually it's a process. It's a process that also includes other processes within doing the process itself. At the last time, we had also the job analysis. But before doing a design or within doing the design, we have to analyze the job and then coming up with some alternatives of what to do through the process of analyzing, and then coming to the decision making. So after the job is designed, then staffing comes on, because it's now taking employees into the institution, whereby through doing the processes in the environment that cares gender considerations and legal issues, at the end, the staff or the employees need to be compensated or paid in terms of salary, in terms of other fringe benefits. And this becomes as a motivation and becomes also as a way of motivating people to do towards the institution. At the end, we find that the members in the institution, they make the institution achieve its goal. At the same time, they are also achieving their personal goals. So that's why you see at the end there, we have like a result where the objectives are met. Which objectives? The 2 parts. 1, the institutional objective, and 2, the personal objectives. And at this juncture, we think now the human resource management in education will be successful because everyone will be happy. The institution will be happy, and also an individual in the institution will be happy.
So today, it's good at least you've come up with clear concepts, and I know they will still evolve over the next few days. So what I would like us to do, because we've been looking at learning outcomes, and we've said that when you're writing a learning outcome, it needs to have a verb, content, and context, and they need to be smart learning outcomes. and also gender responsive. So I just want you to take me through how your students learn one of this concept. Yeah, so maybe you can pick on job design or staffing or compensation. Just take me through, what do they really learn, so that from there we can pick out the verbs, the content, and the context, and find out whether the learning outcome is actually smart.
Thank you, Madam. In this concept map, let us take one of the concepts, as I said. Suppose we take staffing. We expect at the end of this course, the learner will be able to apply the human resource management systems in education staffing with gender consideration. So the main is to apply the human resource management systems in education staffing with gender consideration. And actually this will be done through the case studies. In the actual environment, we have so many issues pertaining staffing.
Okay,
Some
Edward, okay, let's concentrate on the learning outcome. We'll get into cases later because that is on teaching and learning strategy. Yeah, so you've talked about, I just wanted to know, what is it that students actually learn under staffing? What is it? What are some of the things? If I was your student today and you come to class and the session is on staffing, what is it that I'm supposed to learn? Yeah.
in staffing, we actually need to know the issues like recruitment. We also need to know the issues of selection and also the methods that are used on selection and choosing. Those are the major issues. However, they also have details in them.
Okay. So what is it about recruitment? We've talked about methods of selection. What is it that I'm supposed to know as your student? What is it? What am I supposed to do with these methods?
Okay, thank you. Maybe if you allow me, let me start with the recruitment process.
Okay.
In the recruitment process, we expect that the institution that wants to welcome members to join the institution for being employed or work in it has to identify the vacancies, announce the vacancies, and those people who will be willing to join the institution will write the letters to apply for the job, and then the letters will be collected at the institution, which is now receiving the letters, and those letters later will be selected or shortlisted according to the qualifications that were announced in the announcement itself. And then at the end, some of them will be chosen according to the criteria that were mentioned in the advert. And then the last point will be the employment or contract signing. Then after contract signing, one will be a member of an institution. So the process of announcing, collecting the names, collecting the letters, and choosing some which have qualifications, that is the whole process of recruitment until we reach the point of employing someone to join the institution by signing the contract. That is what meant by the issue of recruitment process in an education sector. And therefore, let me take that as a case.
Okay, good. So whom are they employing?
Let me take in a case of our country, and that's where now the legal issues are needed there.
No, just okay. The question was, you talked of they need to apply appropriate. Okay, this is what I picked as you spoke, identifying the vacancies and all that. So basically, what you are saying maybe is applying appropriate recruitment and selection methods in employing. So I was just thinking, whom are they employing? Who are these people that I'm supposed to employ as your student?
We expect that these students might become later employers. So they are employing qualified people or qualified personnel according to the vacant itself. In the education sector, we have some teaching staff, and we have also some non-teaching staff. So if we are now employing a teaching staff, have to have the qualification of the teaching staff, and for those who are supporting staff, they should have their own qualification. So here the major concept is to abide with the qualification of someone we need to join the institution.
Yeah, so you've talked about abide, apply, identify, and I'm just thinking maybe the word apply could be an appropriate verb for this particular concept. So maybe apply, something like apply appropriate recruitment and selection methods in employing qualified staff in the educational sector, so that at least the context has to come out as the educational sector. Apply is the verb, and of course the content is about recruitment and selection methods. Yeah. So if you follow the same process, you can actually now look at other learning outcomes. Maybe you still have another learning outcome under staffing. And then you can also follow the same process. Just think through, what are the students supposed to learn in this particular concept? And you can be sure that as you reflect on that and think through, you'll be able to come up with the verb, the content, and the context. Okay, yeah. And maybe just the last thing, when it comes to staffing, what are some of the gender issues that maybe we need to incorporate in our learning outcome?
Maybe before going to the gender issues, let me put this clear. The staffing itself is a process that has also sub processes within. So like recruitment is just one of the process within the staffing, because staffing starts with the first stage of having or welcoming an individual in the institution. And it goes far to developing this individual and even the point of departure. So that's why now we took just a point of recruitment, but I agree with you that the verb to be used should be apply, as maybe is now put in the general word of staffing, while staffing itself has got also sub-processes. But I agree with you, to put it clear, application becomes more appropriate.
Okay. Yeah, it's good you have, it's good you've mentioned that. You remember, we have program learning outcomes, we have course learning outcomes, and then we have class learning outcomes. So basically what we are looking at here is at course level learning outcomes, and it needs to be comprehensive. So for each concept, you might just want to have one or two learning outcomes, but the sub, you talked of the sub, is it sub sections, you know, of developing. So those, you'll come up with learning outcomes at class level. Yeah,
sure.
At class level. Yeah. Otherwise, at this stage, we are looking at the higher bit, you know, yeah, at course level. Yeah, sure. That is good.
Thank you.
There was something you said. Okay, so
yes, now you was asking about the gender issues.
Okay, good.
The gender issues, madam, are well considered. However, they are not separated from the process of staffing itself. Now, if you can see from the concept map, the gender consideration has been put at the top with the legal issues. This implies that every process that will be done or every concept should abide completely with gender consideration. Like when we do staffing, let me take an example in our Tanzanian context today. The employment has to have the consideration in gender. Suppose you employ, there should be about equal number of the female and male where necessary. And maybe if sometimes you fail to get the number from one gender, sometimes they even postpone. So staffing has to have a very sensitive eye on the issue of gender. And that's why maybe it did not come with the specific learning outcome, but the full learning outcome have to clearly look on the issue of gender consideration in every process.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, you've brought out something about gender in the staffing on, I don't know whether it is equality or equity. Yeah, because if, for example, I only have 2 ladies who have applied and there are eight gentlemen, so I don't know whether it will be proportional or it has to be equal. In such a case, it might not be possible. But what I like about what you brought out is on the same concept, which is staffing, when you think through, you're saying that as they apply appropriate recruitment and selection methods, they also need to ensure that they they take into consideration the gender, the gender ratios. Yeah. So you can actually have another learning outcome on staffing, which simply addresses gender. Okay. Yeah. And then if you think maybe as you go through the job design compensation, you can also think through, do you have a specific gender consideration on job design or compensation? Yeah, then you can come up with a learning outcome on the same. So you continue with the same process for the other concepts. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Madam. I shall do it, and also I shall consider the learning outcome of the class level when I go through the process of going in the class. Thank you very much.
Okay.